was a good win last night. Came out pretty healthy, able to get a lot of guys minutes, fresh for this week. 3 games in 5 days. Um, you know, when you score it like that and shoot a percentage like that, I know we didn't get as many assists that we would like to have. Like for us, a key metric, I think 16-1 or something like that when we have 14 assists or more. I don't think Nigel got credit for his lob pass to Day. Looked like a shot, but it was a lob. There's a play that we run,
Yes.
which should get us to 14 if we correct our assist total properly. But that is something that I thought we really shared the ball, especially in the second half, which led to our high field goal percentage. And I thought we at times defensively looked pretty good last night. So, and this week's going to be a war, and our guys know it. And it's I think maybe the 135th meeting between the Jacks and the Cats, and Rati's played in I think 98 of them. So, be a chance for him to go out the way he wants to go out in here.
Coach, I remember the very first Axum Insider interview that we did. This is months ago now, but I remember you told me in that preseason interview that this is one of the more skilled shooting teams that you were going to have. You guys are third in the country right now in three-point percentage. What is it, do you think, besides them just being good shooters, what is it about what you guys do offensively that leads to so much of that?
Well, Bucket, thanks for bringing it up. That may be the only thing I've been right about on our team all year long. I think we just hit on it. I think we move the ball really well. And when we move it fast, that leads to some open shots for our team. I think we were 7 for 15 last night, and Latrell goes 0 for 4, and he's in the top whatever. So that's an odd number for us last night. We shot the ball really well last night, and one of those games where you just, about 5 games a year where we shoot it pretty well. And we unfortunately for us, unfortunately for Cal Baptist, they had it on them last night, and you're going to win when you shoot it like that. But I think that I give our credit to our staff and our players. They spend a lot of time in the gym shooting, and that's one of the things I think as a player you can control is your shot. But if you don't spend time at it, you're not going to be a good shooter. Guys that usually aren't good shooters, they don't want to spend a lot of time in the gym. Guys that are, they find ways to spend more time in the gym, and no different than as a golfer. If you're not good at your short game, you're going to spend time at that, or you want to hit the driver on the range. And if you want to become better at your short game, you're going to spend more time at it, right? Or you're putting or whatever. And so, you got to pick what you want to be good at. And guys that aren't good shooters or good defenders probably shy away from spending time after the practice shooting versus, hey, I want to complete my game and spend more time at it. I think we recruited some decent shooters to go along with the guys that we had. And I also think that AJ makes us better because he's really hard to guard and he creates some shots for others out there. And so does Day with the spacing because you got to make a decision on him as well.
Before we break down analytic-wise, the next, specifically Jacks versus Cats, looking at the schedule now that we're in it versus at the start of the year. The Thriller in Abilene, national TV game against California Baptist, rivalry game, and a huge matchup against Utah Valley. At the start of the year, did you think that this 4-game stretch and then into the conference tournament was going to have this much outside noise, so to say, and how are you guys being able to focus on everything when it comes to securing that final momentum?
It's a lot of stuff in there, Hunter. Obviously, and I'm not going to live in the past, obviously we thought we could handle some of the things in between better. We knew kind of breaking the schedule down before the season started. I thought we handled the beginning well, right? We start off 4-0, did what we needed to do early. 2 3-game road trips. Didn't do nearly as well. Went 2-4 in those 3-game road trips. Hope to go at least 3-3 during that stretch, and you'd hope to go 4-2. And every game was a dog fight, and wanted to flip that to go 4-2 versus 2-4. And if you do that, you got a chance to win the league for sure. And didn't do what we need to do as far as that goes. And then if you don't, throw up on yourself at UTA, you're probably going to have a chance to win the league this week going into this last week. And even by going 2-4. So, that's the disappointing thing for us is we didn't take care of home court. The one home court loss, regardless of how challenging our schedule was during that, January, late January, mid-January to late and early February stretch that we had. And so, we're just trying to really build momentum and see where we end up. Our guys are excited with anticipation of the future and not being anxious about it. We had a good film session this morning, really didn't do much, kind of walked through a few things on Sam Houston. They manhandled us the first time they played us, in my opinion. I think our players all would agree with that, and still, it was a couple possession game at the end. But they totally dominated us in every way, shape, or form. So we've got to somehow find a way to change that going into the game. Because they dominated the game from the 16-minute mark to the end, and hopefully we will.
Jax, go ahead.
We talked about the way the Lumberjacks shoot it, but speaking of Sam Houston, they're also in the top 10 in three-point shooting percentage. I've heard you talk numerous times this year about your guys' magic number being 6 and not allowing more than 6 3-pointers to the opponent. What do you guys approach teams like that a little bit differently and trying to run them off the 3-point line when you know they shoot it that well, or you guys just kind of go with your same stuff on the defensive end?
Yeah, we're not going to change a whole lot. They run great stuff. Obviously Jason Hooten, probably coach of the year in the league, depends on how this week ends up. He's won such a high level, championship level coach, and both coaches were playing this week. Either one of them's going to be coach of the year in our league. And but to answer your question, Bucky, we're going to try, but I think every coach goes in and playing against Sam, you say, oh man, we can't give up threes, but nobody's really done it right. And I thought really where they beat us up for sure was throwing it in the post the last game. They made 8, but where they dominated us was physically in the post, and from there then they made some threes. Powers is a really good shooter, and Hugh Hefner he just kicked our butt. Their 4-man, who I think is, we talked about the last kid. He's probably an NBA player. At the 4 spot, he's a guard but plays the 4. He's just a terrible matchup, scores at all 3 levels, and from the guys I talked to in the league, he's the most NBA ready guy, and I hope he goes pro after this year. He's the jump he's made from foreign player to Division II now into the WAC. Right now I would vote him Player of the Year right now if I voted today, because he just does so much for their team. Everybody wants to talk about Grant, and I think Grant makes them go. But Hefner hits most of the big shots, and he didn't have the ball in his hands very much.
I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but it's talking about.
I think he's number 2 in the country in 3-point shooting.
Yeah, the physicality that you're talking about from that last matchup.
Yeah.
Last night, I think one of the kind of unsung heroes last night was Jaleel.
100%.
8 rebounds.
Thank you for bringing
it. A really physical presence. And I know that he had struggled with some injury stuff a little earlier in the season. I don't remember exactly how much he played against Sam Houston in that first matchup.
He did.
Do you think having him back tomorrow night? Do you think
he played. I think that was his second game. Was that his second game back? Played like 8 minutes or something. Missed 2 months with a broken foot. We need him to play. And hopefully he'll make a difference in this game, right? Size, they have, they rotate 3 guys really inside at the 5 spot. They get the transfer. Don't make me pronounce his name, except he's a hard-rocking, tough dude, a kid from K-State who's really impacted their team, controls the paint on both ends of the floor, and Jason's fit him in seamlessly, and just dominates around the rim for him. Block shots, rebounds, sets great ball screens and rolls, and they don't have to run one play for him. The dude just plays so hard, and it creates shots for everybody else because you got to protect on his rolls. And their team is an unbelievable role definition, and And I think Utah Valley's the same way. I really haven't studied them yet, but I mean, Sam has unbelievable role definition, which I think for us, and you guys have covered us all year long, we've had so many injuries. The role definition may be starting to come into play a little bit with our team now, and you'd think by the time I've said this early in the year, we'd play our best ball in February. Maybe now we are because we're starting to finally get some role definition with our team. And they've started the same lineup for I don't know how long. I haven't looked exactly, but I know it's been forever. And so, I mean, I think that's just like anything else. And, it's like playing with you got the same sand wedge. You know how you're going to hit that sand wedge, right? And how the ball comes off the putter face if it's the same putter. And so, I mean, you have a comfort level with who you're playing, what you're getting out of it.
This is your last moment. Anything else you want to say about Wednesday?
Wednesday, we just need everybody here. I mean, who knows when we're going to play them again. I'd like to say it'll be next year, but never know about tomorrow. And we don't know when we're going to play them again. So hopefully we get all our fans to show up. They're leaving our league. And we sure would like to have a great turnout. We had a great turnout last night, and we appreciate all our fans. We know that impacted our game. And, if we can get a few more, maybe we can get the same result. Axe them.